Ready to hear a story about a nurse from the 1920s that was scorned by her lover? From what I hear, she was pretty attractive. She worked at a TB hospital in my hometown when she fell in love with this very rich, very good-looking, charismatic doctor. But her and Dr. Hottie were having a love affair because he was married. So his wife finds out about Miss Hottie Nurse, okay? So she tells him, it's either me or her. Pick. He told his wife, please don't leave. I'm sorry, I messed up. I'll never do it again. I promise, just don't leave. So he goes and tells the nurse, we're done. No more. Stay away from me. Enraged, she's like, the hell? You promised you were going to get me out of this town. He said, too bad, so sad. You were just somebody I messed around with. You don't mean anything. She's like, I don't mean anything? I don't mean anything to you? She was crazy. She said, fine, I'm going to go tell your wife it wasn't just a one-night thing, that it happened all the time. He's like, you stay away from my wife. He requests a change of hospitals. He wants to go to a different hospital. He gets approved and tells the nurse, I'm out of here, sweetheart. You can't ruin my life now. She said, nuh-uh, you aren't going anywhere without me. So now the nurse is big mad, right? Big mad. She gets in her car. She goes out to Dr. Hottie's house and him and his wife. Then she puts him in a bag, takes him out to this bridge that's out where I grew up and over the edge. She drags him out of the trunk, throws him over the side, and while she does, she screams, I hate you! Lots of emotion there. So now you got like a really pissed off nurse, right? That throws him over the water, and everybody knows water helps ghosts pop up. So wait until you hear what happens now, years and years later, when anyone goes out there and recreates that. Come back for part 2. Flash warning, I am in the car, so that means this ghost story is a scary one. Consider this a warning because I'm not going to warn you again, but if you don't like the really scary ones, get on out of here. So we know the ghost is a nurse who has her lover who was married, right? So she takes him out to the bridge, dumps him off. What you're supposed to do is go out there and scream, I hate you, and throw rocks, right? So I'm with a whole group of kids. There's 5 cars, so all together there's 25 of us. We get out there, I'm the 3rd car back. So what you're supposed to do is get out, yell, throw the rocks. I was not getting out of that car because as soon as I come down the hill, I knew she was near. I look at my friend and I'm like, she's somewhere around. She's not here yet, but she's coming. My friend's like, don't play with me. I'm not. She's close. So we get out there. Some of the older boys that thought they were cool jump out, right? They jump out and they start throwing rocks. I just close my eyes because I can feel her coming from my left side. I know she's coming and she's coming fast. So this goes on for about 2 or 3 minutes of them throwing rocks and stuff. And then everybody's laughing and they get back in the car. But honey, they were not laughing long. Immediately we hear the first car. All the kids start screaming. Jason just walked by. He's watching me record this. We can hear the screams, but we don't know why they're screaming. We just know they're screaming. So my friend tries to start her car. The car won't start. Quickly, it's over just as fast as it started. We hear the second car. All start screaming. We're all panicking. We can't get the car to start. It immediately starts fogging up inside the car, right? Then we figure out why they're all screaming. We start hearing like a slapping noise like that, climbing up the hood. Then we start seeing wet footprints run across the windshield. They're running around the side of the car. She's everywhere. As quick as it happened, it was over. We hear the 4th car start screaming and so on. But as soon as she left our car, the car would start and we got the hell out of there. So 25 kids experienced this all at the same time. And that was enough to keep little old me away from there for 7 years. I've had more encounters with her. Come back for the next part if you want to hear the rest of the story. Okay, it's time for the second story about the nurse that's also a ghost on the bridge. This story takes place years after the first one. I come from a really big family, and one day we were all gathered together for dinner at my grandmother's house. Everyone's just talking, laughing, telling all kinds of stories, and I start to talk about the thing that happened on the bridge when I was in high school. So everyone's talking about how they've been out there and everyone's had something scary happen. And then out of the blue, my quiet, super shy uncle says, I've seen her. You've seen her? Excuse me? He just nods and goes, yep, I've seen her. Then turns to walk away. So I grab him and I'm like, no, sir, you can't walk away after saying that. What do you mean you've seen her? Like, where did you see her? So he said him and his buddies all get in their trucks and they go out there. They're out, you know, just talking, hanging out. They do the thing that you have to do to try to get her to show up. And then they don't really pay any attention to it. Then a few minutes go by and they hear something in the river behind them. You already know where this is going. We know who was in the river behind them, but I wanted the details. He says, I don't really like talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. Too bad, sir. You're going to finish this story. I need to know all the details. He said that they hear someone walking in the river, like splashing, like a ch-ch-ch-ch coming through the water. Oh, no, like I wouldn't want to actually see her in the water. So they turn around, and he'd never seen a ghost, never had any kind of encounter with a ghost or anything like that. And I don't even think he registered what it was at first, or who it was at first. He said she had on like a 1920s style nurse's outfit. He said she was very attractive. So of course, being teen boys, they immediately try to flirt with her. Now remember, they thought she was like a real person because he said she looked like a real person. I gotta stand up for this part. So she's walking down the river, right? He said, and then they call out to her and she stops. So she looks at them, she smiles, then she glitches, like, no, I'd have got the hell out of there right then. But no, they don't leave, they wait for her to glitch more. And what does she do? She starts glitching, then disappears. She didn't disappear. You know where she was going. She was running up there to that truck. I would have passed out. A glitchy murder nurse? No, I'm out of there, out. He said they all look at each other, scream, and run. They get to their truck, and then what happens? That's right. She's on the truck. The entire family's looking at him like. Then he just said, yeah, pretty scary. Haven't been back since. This is Bacon's Castle. It is the oldest brick dwelling in the United States, and it was built in 1665. That's right, 1665. Here's a pic of me in 2016 at Bacon's Castle. Lots of scary stuff has happened, lots. There's even an 1830s indentured servant's dwelling in the backyard. The building is 358 years old. It's old as hell. Of course it's gonna be haunted. Y'all, the scariest story of all is they say there is a disembodied head of an African-American woman on the property. She's most frequently seen in this tower part. This is the original structure. This was built later. I could show you the photo right now, but I won't because I'm sadistic and I like pissing people off. So go to part 2. If you had problems seeing the Civil War ghost, then you probably will not be able to see this. Don't say I didn't warn you. And I forgot to say that Bacon's Castle is in Surrey, Virginia. Not Kentucky, Virginia. But I've been there and I gave you proof. Also, the ghost hunters were there and taps. They got all kinds of evidence. You can YouTube that. It's pretty cool. Here is the photo that I took. First, I'm going to let you see if you can find her. Look for just a second. People gave me shit last time when I was pointing it out. So give yourself a second to look. Pause it. Take a really good look. Do you see this woman in the window? How about now? Here is her face. Puffy sleeves. Tiny waist. Her hair is on the top of her head in a bun. Here's a really close up. Here's her face. 2 eyes, nose, mouth, long neck. She's in this window. Here's another view. There's no trees in the front to cast any kind of weird shadows. Look again, all over. There's no trees in the reflection. Here she is. She's right here. Haters are gonna say they can't see her. I can see her. Jason could see her. Jason can never see any ghost anywhere. Jason saw her first. Do you see this one? Casket Girls of the Ursuline Convent. How have I never heard of this before? Came to the cemetery to tell this story. Was gonna get out, but I chickened out. Gonna have to tell this one fast because I don't know how long I can sit here by myself. The Ursuline Convent is in New Orleans.
I thought I saw something. Anyway, the Ursuline Convent is in New Orleans in the French Quarter. In the 1700s, they didn't feel like the French Quarter was thriving, so they needed a lot of more people there. So they decided to reach out to the King of France to ask if they could have some men sent over. And he said, "Say less. I know who I'm going to send over." I'm never filming at a cemetery again by myself. Like that's going to do anything. But he did not send good guys. No, he sent all the bad guys. Every bad dude he could find, he rounded them up, shipped them over. He said, "I'm also going to send some nuns over. We can start a convent." So they all come over. Everything starts going great. But they decided they needed some women. So they decided to reach out to the king again. And he said, "Women, I got you. Hang on." So he's going around. He's like, "Come on, girls, get your shit. Get on the boat. You got to go over there." Whether they wanted to go or not. Rumor has it he was even taking some out of the orphanages and sending them over. Ugh. Horrible thing to do. So here's where the casket girl name comes into play, right? When these girls get off the ships, they're gaunt, sickly, just weak, like super pale looking, which could be because they just made this long ass journey on these ships, right? Or it could be because they were packing these huge luggage things that look like caskets. Hence the name Casket Girl. Girl, what you got in that casket? So they get over here, they're like, "Oh, where are we going to stay?" And the nuns are like, "Come on over, you can stay up in the attic." So they move in, they start meeting the men, then bad things start happening. Like they start finding like dead bodies of all these men on the side of the road that's like, look like they've been attacked by animals, little babies passing away, really sad stuff. So the nuns start talking and they're like, "You see all this stuff that's going on?" One nun's like, "I bet it's those girls." "I bet it is those girls. We should lock them in the attic." Sorry, what? So that's what they did. They locked them in the attic. They sealed everything tight. They shut all the shutters, closed it all up super tight. They even used 800 nails, each individually blessed by the Pope. That's right. I said the Pope. So right now you're probably thinking, okay, Tiffany, that's got to be it, right? That's the end of the story. But it's not. But I've reached my limit of being able to sit here by myself, so I got to get the hell out of this cemetery. If you want to hear anything else, let me know, and bye. The second time I went to the Ghost Bridge was the scariest. I should have learned my lesson the first time and just stayed away, but I didn't. So here's what happened. So I was home from college for the weekend, and my brother and his friend were going to go four-wheeler riding at night. I love doing that, so I'm like, I'm in, let's go. We're riding around for a little while, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, let's go out to the bridge." And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to go. And my brother's like, "Too bad, you're already on here, we're going." I didn't really have a say in it. Next thing I know, we're at the bridge. So I'm already pissed because I don't want to be there, scared to death, and now I'm not even in a car. I'm on a four-wheeler, exposed to the elements and to her, right? So I'm sitting there all pissed off, which was probably just fueling her energy if I had to guess, because they feed off of that. And my brother's like, "I'm going to get off and do the thing and throw the rock." I was so mad. I'm still mad thinking about it. Now, his friend was like 7 feet tall. He was a huge dude, and he is recording all of this with like a little handheld recorder. This is back late 90s, early 2000s. We're pulled over to the side of the road, this side where she comes up out of the water, right? So I'm on high alert. I'm sitting there like... So his friend's walking around recording. My brother's over there like throwing rocks. "I hate you." Just asking for it. He's asking for it. Now remember, I said that my brother can see stuff too, so I don't know what he thought he was doing. But then we hear like gravel, like a car coming down the hill. So I'm screaming at the boys. I'm like, "Get out of the way, a car's coming." So sure enough, here comes this like old-timey looking car down the hill. Right? Just going by the hill. Super slow, super sketch, very weird. Immediately I'm like, this is it. I'm going to die out here. Somebody's going to kidnap us and kill us. They're going to kill both the boys or something and take me. That's it. So I'm following the car and it gets right in front of us. And you can't really see in. You could just see like a little green dot, like where the clock would be. It pulls on past us a little bit and then gets to the center of the bridge and stops. Y'all, the panic, because I'm like, who the hell is in this car? So my brother's known for fighting, so I'm like, okay, like, he's got this, it's fine. But nobody gets out. They just sit there for a minute. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to tell on us or trying to figure out who we are so they can call the cops or something. Then they drive off up the hill. So I yell at both the boys. I'm like, okay, jackasses, you've had your fun. Let's go. I'm tired of being out here.
We do like the 30-minute drive back on the four-wheeler and we get back to my mom's house. I'm telling her what's going on. The boys are all excited. They're like, let's watch the video and see if we got anything on the video. So they turn the video on. You see Grant acting stupid, throwing rocks and doing all this stuff. And then you hear the car coming. You hear me scream like, hey boys, get out of the way. There's a car coming. You hear the car coming. You see the video follow where the car should be. That's right, I said should because the car wasn't on the video. But do you know what was on the video? That little green light. Y'all, that was the car. That was her driving the car. And when she paused, that was her like getting out and throwing him in the water. I still have goosebumps talking about it. Look, it was a ghost car. The ghost car. So immediately the three of us are like, where's the car? Why is there not a car on this video? Now you're going to ask, where's the video? And this was a million years ago. I'm sure it's been recorded over with like an episode of Family Guy or something. I don't know. It was my friend, or my brother's friend, that had the video. Long gone. He's moved off. I don't know. But if I have to, I will make my mom and brother record on here saying that they watched the video, heard the car, saw the green light, no car. So what do you think's scarier? Having her crawl across your windshield or reenacting dumping the body in the water? Because they're both scary as hell, but y'all, that ghost car, The second time I went to the ghost bridge was the scariest. I should have learned my Ursuline Convent Part 2. You asked for it, you're getting it. So now that they've got the girls and their caskets locked up in the attic, or maybe it's just the caskets, I don't know. But either way, all is supposed to be well now, right? No. Immediately, people start saying that the convent's haunted. They're seeing the lights come on at night, the shutters fling open, things like that. This goes on forever. Now remember, this originally took place in 1721. So the rumors go on for centuries about this place being haunted. Well, eventually, this group of college students from Boston decide that they're going to go down there and check it out and see if there's vampires down there or not. Not the smartest thing if you ask me, but whatever. It's 2 girls, 3 boys, and they're going to go down there for a week and set up cameras and record from sundown to sunup every day to see if they can catch these vampires. They'd already been told to get away. The nuns were like, get off the property, don't film, just go away. But they're like, whatever, no, we came all the way from Boston. Okay, ladies, I hear that you're telling us to go, but we're not going anywhere. So they just went across the street and set up shop over there. So they do this for 2 nights. On the 3rd night, the boys are like, girls, you got this. We're going to go to the bar. So they leave the girls to go drink at a bar. Really? So when they come back, they found the girls dead, drained 80% of the blood out of their body, and they look like they'd been attacked by some kind of animal, right? But right now you're thinking, Tiffany, those girls are supposed to be locked up in the attic, and I know they're supposed to be, but they're also vampires, or allegedly. And the part that I found on one site that scared me the most is there's supposed to be like video footage of the girl that the girls had, okay, that they found, the boys found, of the convent, lights coming on in the attic, shutters opening, closing. The girls are like, what the hell? Then it fades to black. Video just cuts off, gone. Video dead, like the girls. They never found the killer, ever. I personally think those boys need their asses whooped, but that's just my opinion. So do you think that it's vampires in the attic of the Ursuline Convent? Because I kind of do, and I'm not going to go find out. This is about the only ghost that has ever testified at her own murder and was able to catch her murderer just by her confession. In 1897, Elva Zona Heaster Shue had just gotten married, and she was so excited to be a new wife. Everything was going great, or was it? Now, she had married Erasmus Stribling Trout Shue. Yes, these names are complicated. I even had to write them down. Erasmus was the local blacksmith. Well, he had a boy that would come over and help at the house some. So he said that he hadn't seen his wife in a while and sent the boy to go check on her. Well, when he got there, he found her dead on the stairs. So he runs back, no, Elva's dead on the stairs. And then Erasmus is like, what? No, there's no way she's dead. Let me go check on her. And he's like, oh no, my wife, not my wife. And so he takes her and like holds her head right? So he's like holding her head, and then when the examiner comes to look at the body, he won't let go of the head, and he's like, no, I can't, I love her too much, like I just can't say bye yet. The whole time the medical examiner's trying to look at her, he's holding her head. So then when they try to get her dressed, he picks out a high collar gown for her, you know, like sus stuff. So they deem it natural causes, and about a month goes by, but then Elva starts visiting her mother, Mary. She starts showing up as a ghost, and she's like, wake up, Mom, I gotta tell you something, like, wake up. And the mom's like, you know, like, what are you doing here? And she said, no, listen. She said, I didn't die of natural causes. This fool did it. The fool that I've been married to for just a little bit. She said, yeah, he comes home, he's all pissed off because I didn't have any meat cooked for dinner. And I was like, yeah, I don't have any meat cooked. So what are you going to do about it? So he like starts swinging on me. Next thing I know, we're fighting, dead. Mom's like, what do you want me to do about it? She's like, ugh. So she leaves. So she comes back the next night to the mom again. She's like, listen, when we were fighting, he got me in a chokehold and he had me like this. And he's like crushing my neck. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. She said, I'm trying to fight him off, and then snaps my neck off at the first joint. The medical examiner wouldn't even do anything because that fool was holding my head like he loved me or whatever. Tell the medical examiner and go tell whoever you got to tell to dig me up, and they'll see that I'm right. Mary goes to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor believes her. So he goes to the medical examiner, and he said, so Mary's saying that Elva told her that you didn't even really examine the body. Is that true? And he said, well, yeah, I mean, like, I kind of looked at it, but the husband was like holding her head and everything, so I didn't get to look up there. I just kind of figured natural causes. So the prosecutor's like, well, wait a minute. If that's true, then we're going to dig her up, right? So they dig her up, and sure enough, Elva was right. Her neck was snapped at the first joint, and her windpipe was crushed and all of that, and you couldn't see any of that because the fool was holding her head, okay? So when it goes to court, Mary testifies. She's like, yeah, and the whole time Elva, you know, she's in court like this. Yes, he did it. He did it. He did it. I told you. I told you. He did it. He did it. Throw him in jail. So it only takes the jury an hour to convict this man, because it also came out that he'd been married 2 times before. Both his wives had died, and one had died of a mysterious brick falling and hitting her in the head. Elva didn't even know that he was married before. So she was probably like, are you for real? Ugh. So they convict him, and he goes to prison and dies in prison 3 years later. So you know Elva's like, oh yeah, oof, I told you. And that is the story of the Greenbrier ghost, and how it is the only recorded time in history that a ghost has testified at court and found her murderer. Ghosts are awesome, y'all. I try to tell ya.
When I was 19 and worked at the mall at 579, a store I bet a lot of you don't even remember, we saw what we think was a ghost that tried to shoplift. Also, this is the second time I've made this because TikTok didn't like parts of the story last time, so they took it down, and I have to remake it without those parts. I'm going to tell you what really happened. I had someone in my comments in the last video say that they didn't believe it. But here's the thing. All of my stories, you could say you don't believe any of them. They're my stories. I'm telling you for a reason, because you want to hear them, and they're the truth. If you don't like them, don't listen to them. Back to the story. It was a Friday night. We were about to close. We had like 10 minutes left when someone came in. My manager was there. She'd been in a bad mood all day. She didn't want to be there anymore. She was ready to go home. She gathered up a bunch of stuff she wasn't supposed to have. You were only supposed to do like 3 to 6 things. She had a whole armful of things. She goes into the dressing room. We tell her that we're about to leave in like 10 minutes, that she was going to have to leave. She just nods and goes into the room. We clean up for the night. We get everything ready to go. But then when it's time to leave, we knock on the door and we're like, hey, you need to go. It's time to get out of here. We could hear her moving things around, taking clothes off hangers, all of that stuff. But she wouldn't really answer. She'd just say like, no. And that was it. So my manager was getting really upset. She was ready to go. Now, this is where I have to leave out what she said, what the manager said. But she told me to call the night security. So I did. And the night security comes. He tells her, like, hey, you got to get out of here. She doesn't answer him. So he lets her go in to get her out. When she opens the door, no one was there. This sounds crazy, I know, but this is what happened. And if ghosts really do follow me, then it makes sense. Like, it was following me. It's not just like everywhere I go is haunted. They're haunting me. people. That's the thing. Have you not figured that out yet? Like I said, believe it, don't believe it. At this point, I'm so tired. I don't even care. I'm come on here to tell you a story because I thought it was funny that it kind of goes with Black Friday, because everybody comes into retail places, destroys things, and doesn't buy anything, and then just leaves, which is what this girl did, because when we opened the door, no one was there. He was mad because he thought we were messing with him and he was ready to go home because it was a Friday night. The manager was mad because she saw the woman go in there. We all did. Myself and the other sales associates saw the girl go in there, but there was no girl there. He told us we couldn't leave until we found her. She said, to hell with that, I'm leaving now. We all said, we're with you. We're going to leave too. So we looked around for her for a little bit more and couldn't find her, so we all left. Did we ever see her again? No. But I don't know why she showed up. I don't know why she was there, but she was there. Also, before I leave, if you're the manager that worked with me back in the late 90s at 579, I am sorry. I'm sorry that you got scared that night, because it wasn't the store. I'm sure it was me. It was me that was being haunted and you just got scared. And if you're the night security, dude, I'm sorry to you too. And if you are the people watching this video that don't believe me, I am not sorry, because I'm telling the truth. And if you don't like it, I don't care. But if you do believe me and you follow me and you're super nice, I love you all. Thanks for watching. But everybody else can kiss my ass.
A lot of you have seen my videos about my massive windows, and all of you seem to have an issue with me leaving the blinds open, but here's one of the reasons why I do it. In 2020, when everything shut down, I stopped working. I was staying home. My kids, none of them were going to school, so it was all remote learning, and my niece would come over here, so it would be 4 kids sitting at the dining room table doing school all day long. One day I'm sitting here on the couch like I am right now, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, and I turn and catch this little girl. She's like in this white gown, she's barefooted, and she's running across the back, that whole big back area of where the windows are at, and then goes behind the house. So immediately I jump up, I'm like, oh my God, somebody's kid is up here. I live in the middle of town, and there's a lot of kids that live like on my street or whatever, so they're all home from school, so it made sense for one of them to just come up here to play, no big deal. But it was kind of cool outside, and she was barefooted, so I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's already worried about getting sick anyway. That's all I need is her out here running around barefooted, and plus I didn't want her to step on something or get hurt or anything like that. So I stand up and start to head outside. My niece is like, are you talking about the little girl with the long hair in like the white Victorian type dress? Yeah, did you see her? Like, she was just like booking it around the back of the house. Yeah. She's not real. What do you mean she's not real? Yeah, she's not real. She just runs across the back of the house. Give her a second, she'll run around the front. Stop. What do you mean she'll run around the front? So I'm just staring at these windows, like, and sure enough, here she comes. Running. She just keeps running the house. I'm gonna go out there. I want to see her run around the outside. It was the middle of the day, like, I'm still thinking it's a kid. It's gotta be a kid. I go out there. No little girl. Why? I'll tell you why. Where my house sits, back in like the 1800s, there used to be what would be like a bed and breakfast. It was a 2-on-2 style home. People would come from all over. This town used to be a very popular town back then. It is not popular now. No. But it was back then. So this little girl is not like she's a ghost. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but it's residual. She's playing outside or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the little girl. I don't know how to find what happened to the little girl. So I keep those windows open because I don't like the idea of a little ghost girl out there looping my house and I can't see it. I want to see what's going on out there. Would you want a ghost girl running around your house and you can't see it? She doesn't scare me when I can see her. It's when I can't see her that I get nervous. So y'all better get used to those blinds open, y'all, because I want to know. Deal with it. So you already know by now that I grew up in a haunted house, and I had 2 ghosts in my childhood home that I saw all the time, and then I still kind of see every once in a while. But what you might not know is there's also another ghost that I see every once in a while, and she kind of scares me. So while I was getting ready for bed tonight, I thought, let me reenact this, and then you can tell me if you would be scared of her too. So I've seen her several times, but I've not seen her for a while, and I'm glad about that because this is how it normally goes when I see her. And it's terrifying.
Kata, is that you? What are you doing? Stop. Stop it. Kata. Stop it. Stop. Hi, sorry about that. That one was kind of scary, but that's what it's really like. And now you have an idea of what it's like to be me. So, good night. Sweet dreams. Sorry. So I'm at work right now. Still shocked because I'm back here in the back making shirts for Black Friday. And this happened. So I'm laying the shirts out and putting the screen transfer on it, just in the zone. I've already made like 60 today. Okay. My boss's daughter is here today. I'm whispering because I don't want her to hear me telling this story. She's 6, okay? She's 6. Her play area is back here where I'm at, so she comes back here all the time. So that's normal, right? That's normal. But whenever I'm making shirts, she's not supposed to come back here because the heat press is so hot and we don't want her to touch it or anything like that. So I see her run in and she pulls on the back of my shirt and I reach back behind me to tickle her and say out loud, I said out loud, "Girl, you're not supposed to be back here," but I miss her. So then I look to my left and she's not there. I look to my right and she's not there. So I call out her name and she's in the other room. The other room. She yells from the other room. I go in there and she's sitting in the floor. And I said, "Did you just come back here? Did you just come pull on my shirt?" And she's like, No, Mama said I can't come back there." It wasn't her. A little girl pulled on my shirt at work and it wasn't her. And I mean like tugged hard on my shirt. I responded. I thought it was her. I reached back to tickle her and no one was there. Oh my God. Y'all, I can't with Kid Ghost. I can't. Anyway, so how's your day going? Because that's how my day's going. EVP update on the wet footprints. I went and talked to Jason. I played it for him and he could hear it. So I'm going to try and play it for you guys now. I say something like, "Are you getting like Charles?" And then right after that, you'll hear what sounds like a, and that's the wet slapping of her footprints walking up to me. And then I say, "Y'all, I just heard like wet footprints walk up to me." So hang on. I don't know how to do it other than just play it and hold it to the mic. So that's what I'm going to do. Are you getting like Charles? Y'all, I can hear wet footprints beside me. Like a foot. Let me play it again. I can hear her wet footprints. I'm like, I can hear her wet footprints where I get scared to death because it was clear as day. It was like a slapping of her feet walking up beside me. And I was done after that. Okay, I'm going to play it again. Here we go. Are you getting like Charles? Y'all, I can hear her wet footprints beside me. Can you hear it? Because I can hear it and I don't like it. Myrtle Plantation in Louisiana is the most haunted home in America, and for a good reason. If I'm on your For You page, then I'm guessing you already know all about this place and all about the ghost Chloe that is famous for haunting it. But do you know about the other ghosts that are there? Since I started posting ghost videos, everyone's been sending me photos and talking about this place and saying that I need to go, and I agree, I want to go so bad. So I decided to look it up and see if I could find out a little bit more about it and what all's going on there. Some of these hauntings kind of shocked me, not gonna lie. So apparently this one little girl that was like super sick and back in like 1868 was at knocking at the door of death, and her family was desperate to try to save her, so they called in someone that practiced voodoo to try to fix her, and unfortunately it didn't work. She passed away, and that's not where the story ends. There's also 3 Union soldiers that were inside the house. Apparently that whole ordeal left a massive stain that is still there today that cannot be cleaned up. It's even rumored that if you try to clean it up, you can't even like push a broom or a mop or anything like that over that area. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it says. The owner, after the Chloe story, was doing some stuff he shouldn't have been doing, like some shady stuff or something, I don't know. But then some random guy showed up on their doorstep one day and like knocked on the door, asked for him. He met them on the porch and they like him. And then he backed back into the house and tried to go up the stairs. And then they said that he passed away on the 17th stair. Let's wait for this train to pass. So people say that you will hear him going up the stairs and you'll hear like 17 steps and then it stops. Interesting. So did you know these stories? Ignore the train. Do you have any other stories about Myrtle Plantation? Anything else cool that I should know? Because I really want to go and I want to know if all this stuff's true or if it's just Chloe that haunts there.